Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I want to offer you my feedback and impressions from the Black Ops 6 Reveal stream at CoD Next. And the gameplay that's all around me is from the CoD Next main stream, just the public broadcast gameplay that everybody has available. And I wanted to use this because I don't want to steal from other creators. That seems wrong, but I'm pretty sure the public gameplay is fine. So I wanted to offer my opinions on how 6v6 CoD is looking. I'm not here to talk about zombies. I'm not here to talk about Warzone. Not here to talk about COD Mobile. Those things are just sort of on the periphery of my interests right now. Today, it's all about classic 6v6 Call of Duty, and I'm going to be taking broader strokes with this video and just talking about vibes for the most part, instead of the more granular, in-depth style analysis that you're used to here. So let's not waste any time and jump straight in with guns. Guns are looking very good, both aesthetically and functionally. I'm hearing really positive feedback from the players about the way the guns feel. From watching them play, they most certainly look clean. They look easy to use. The iron sights are looking good. The recoil appears to be a little bit on the lower side, but that's normal for modern Call of Duties. Everything seems pretty easy to use. It seems pretty natural and intuitive. I'm not seeing anything weird with the snipers, not busted pistols, not like goofy, reload mechanics. It's all looking pretty normal. It does appear to be an AR dominant game. Most of the players, and especially most of the very good ones, are gravitating toward assault rifles over SMGs and other things, but I did notice a number of the FaZe guys pulling off some pretty incredible shots with sniper rifles. Sniper rifles are looking fairly strong right now. I didn't see a whole lot of people with throwing knives or shotguns or pistols only or melee. It's a hyper competitive event. You've got your regular COD champions, your Warzone COD champions, your top tier streamers, the best players in the world. You're not going to be able to use the baseball bat in an environment like this. What's interesting to me though is that blueprints and weapon inspections are already available for the reveal. This is mostly a good sign. Typically blueprints come later, and in more recent Call of Duties there have been reveals and betas where the weapon inspections weren't ready and doable yet, so it's nice to see that those are available. Most of the blueprint weapons and most of the inspections look nothing short of fantastic, which is probably a good thing, but we'll talk about this a little bit more in the back half of the video when I talk about cosmetics and what that really indicates about the state of the game. The time to kill appears to be on the slightly quicker side of things. I notice people dying very quickly. Again, we're watching very competitive players play, a lot of headshots, not a lot of shots missed. You would have to go to Exclusive Ace for the precise measurements and comparisons to previous Call of Duty games about the time to kill, but I just saw people dying quickly, and I'm not quite sure how to feel about that, because I hate bullet sponges. I believe it was Black Ops 4 had a sort of bullet sponge problem, and that wasn't very fun. But on the flip side, it's very easy to get caught out and die instantly, especially with this movement. Somebody can just dive around a corner and get 3 headshots on you with the very generous omni movement and you're dead. I'm not sure how that's going to feel or play in the final build of the game. In terms of maps, it offers us 8 beta maps. That's fantastic. I can't actually think of a beta offhand that had this many maps. Most commonly we get 2 to 4, and maybe sometimes some previews of smaller maps or things are like, this map was only available at the reveal, but there's 8 beta maps, 16 in total, more coming. Of course, they have battle passes and seasons, so more will come over time. The maps themselves are aesthetically pleasing, they're colorful, they look good. The Treyarch team was kind of hyping themselves up about their map design, and I think justifiably so. Map design is fantastic. I will say that even though it's aesthetically pleasing, the map design is kind of on the larger side of things and weirdly has more cluttery internal spaces, which is unusual for Treyarch. There's a number of odd flank routes and cross paths, and I noticed that the rooms are filled with objects, square objects, so each room is a very, very small little play space in and of itself. And I think that this is a necessity because of the omni movement and overall game speed, which we're about to talk about in a moment. But if you can transverse the map faster, if you can dive everywhere, if you can slide around everything, you need a bigger play space for your players, so that makes sense. And next up, since we're already talking about movement, let's talk about omni movement. The omni movement system seems to be working well, and I don't see anything obviously buggy about it, which was my #1 concern. Thus far, just from watching this stream, I know we haven't put it in the hands of, little Timmy and Tommy goobers online, and God knows what they're going to do. But from the stream, Targets don't appear incredibly hard to hit. The movements do look reasonable and natural. I didn't see any red flags about the movement. I did notice, however, that very few people turned on the auto mantle assist. The vast majority of players were just using button presses to micromanage all of the movement, which is normal, and that's what you do in most games. And it also makes sense because these are high-end gamers that want to have very precise movement. I would have liked to see more people at least openly testing and trying the auto mantle options. And on this note, I did see Stone Mountain when he sat down and started playing. He was talking about the movement being so intense that he required a controller and auto aim to keep up because it's omnidirectional sprinting, so you can sprint in any direction. Now, unfortunately, if you're on keyboard and mouse, that means you can sprint 8 directions, 4 for WASD and 4 for combinations like WD and WA and stuff like that. And he found that to be somewhat limiting. And he also found that the way you move and strafe and snap on targets was pretty hard, and he actually preferred the aim assist of a controller, which kind of makes me think this is going to be a controller-heavy game, but I haven't played. I'll play on mouse and keyboard here in a day or two. We'll see how it goes. I guess we'll all see this coming Friday when the beta comes out. And one thing I noticed is that in general, and this is part of the Omni movement, but in general, the move speed is really fast. People seem like they're zipping around the map. It seems very easy to navigate. I just generally get the impression that run speed has been cranked up. And Black Ops 6 looks like a very fast COD game to me, which is good because I like games like Apex Legends, which are shoot and scoot, and Black Ops 6 very much so looks like a shoot and scoot game, but it is noticeably faster than any COD game I've seen since maybe Black Ops 3. I did see a lot of the gamers at the event running custom HUDs or heads-up display. I saw people putting their mini-maps at the bottom, their streaks elsewhere, all the pop-ups kind of all over the screen. And I think that's awesome to see that they immediately customized that it's available in beta. We should have been able to customize our HUD in all games like decades ago, but that feature is just now catching up. And I can't wait to see streamers move all of their like HUDs around in different places and their radars and their pop-ups and scale just to have more space on screen for those pop-up sponsor ads. I immediately thought of that like it's the TFT community. You got to have space for that, so that'll be fun. The score streaks that I saw available, most people were just using the very basic ones, so we didn't see a lot of the very big ones, at least not while I was watching. They all seem kind of Treyarch standard, which is good. This is something I talked about in a previous video. They all look good. They kind of make sense for their unlock levels. Most of them seem to have some flavor of counterplay, which is the most important part of what I was talking about earlier this year. And I don't have a lot to talk about the streaks because they look relatively clean, simple, and well done. There's not a lot of analysis to go into there. I do want to talk a little bit about the operators, though. I was very surprised to see the operators becoming popular this quickly. Black Ops 6 has already rolled out an entire colorful cast of operators, and people are already picking favorites and wanting various skins and voice lines and things like that. It's also very nice to see that there's lots of zombie operators, like Brutus is just a character that you can play in multiplayer. Most of the cool weapon blueprints are zombie themed, and I fully support this being in multiplayer. I know people want that like realistic military experience. This game is not that. People aren't doing dolphin dives and rolls and stuff in the middle of a gunfight. That's just not happening. So bringing in more fantasy elements works for me. And this works doubly well because zombies has always been an incredibly popular part of Treyarch games and has been the most appealing mode to casual players. Like when I sit down and I talk about Call of Duty, not everybody played Call of Duty multiplayer. Not everybody played campaign, but almost anybody that played Call of Duty has played COD Zombies. So it's really nice to see them getting love in multiplayer. And cosmetically, all of the operator and weapon blueprints and stuff look fantastic. The game is not even in beta. I know they're playing the beta build, but the beta is not out yet as of the recording of this video. However, it still has cosmetics comparable to Modern Warfare 3 in full release. And I think this could be a good thing because it indicates that the important parts of the game are, or at least should be, already done. And that Treyarch has had plenty of time to focus on polishing it, on making it more vibrant, making it more fun, adding more personality to the game. Typically what you see in a COD release is if they're behind, they kind of scrap all these weapon inspections and skins and they focus on like the core features that keep the game running and kind of patch all that in later seasons. The fact that we're seeing it now in a game that I otherwise didn't see any bugs in means that more likely than not, it's already done and in good shape, so I think that's kind of a good thing. It could be the opposite. They could have cut corners and just made a bunch of skins and the game has problems. We'll see. Again, we'll all see when the beta comes out. It'll be a little bit hard to tell on this one until a few weeks, probably after the full release even, but by the looks of everything, it's in good condition. So here at the end of the video, I gotta ask, how are we feeling in terms of overall vibes on 6v6 multiplayer? Well, on my end of things, feeling pretty good. I don't see any obvious red flags. I'll admit I haven't played it yet. The weapon design seems fantastic. The maps look great, and their more confusing parts probably have to do with the movement system. Importantly, the movement system is functional. It doesn't seem to be buggy. It doesn't seem to be annoying the players at the event, at least from what I was able to see. And it has greatly increased the speed of the game, which I think is great for me. You would think a guy with bad, broken hands would hate fast-paced shooters, but I like them the faster the better. Even if they're terrible for my health, I like me some split gates. I like me some finals, some of these wild, crazy, bouncy things. So the game being faster, totally down for that. Streaks are looking good. Developers are already improving the game with cosmetics. So from a distance, literally I'm not physically able, I'm not healthy enough to travel to the event. I can only watch other people play and judge by their emotions and reactions and sort of use my laser eyes to see what's going on. My first impressions from only watching a live stream is that 6v6 multiplayer is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty appealing to me. So I'm very happy with that. But again, we'll all know come this weekend when the Black Ops 6 beta goes live and everybody in the world can play it. I'm going to be streaming. I'm trying to do 2, maybe 3 streams depending on how it holds up. So I hope I'll see you there. And if you enjoyed this short video about my impressions, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.